I'm here with Natalia from Propy, a new blockchain business that is completely revolutionising how we transact in real estate. Natalia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So Natalia, let's talk about the difference between blockchain and Bitcoin, because they're not the same thing, are they?
Yeah, absolutely. We have very often this confusion between the blockchain and Bitcoin. So there are cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are virtual currencies like dollars, and you can pay for real estate or any other goods with those currencies.
Yeah.
And the blockchain is the ledger, it's database that is being distributed, and it's immutable. It provides transparency. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, they run on their own blockchains, and this is why they're secure. So in my company, we use the blockchain technology on our back end to make our products transparent and immutable.
So what Propy does, that is really about completely changing the way that we can transact property and making that faster and be done in a couple of days even.
Yes.
Like, just run us through how the platform works.
Yeah, that's true. We are preparing for the new wave of consumers such as millennials, and they don't like to go to banks.
Yeah.
They want to make few clicks and to buy any good they could online.
Yeah.
And you know, the home buying process and interest is declining, especially with younger generations. So at Propy, we are automating the purchase process. We're making it possible to buy it as easy as buying a book online on Amazon. So sometimes we're named as Amazon for real estate because with our transaction platform, the buyer can sign the purchase agreement online electronically, can communicate with the buyer or with the buyer's agent, with the seller agent, and with the title company. Then we provide the payment instruction, and the consumer, the end user, receives the evidence of the deal, which is the title deed.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's something that just millennials want to do. I think anyone who transacts real estate, it's like 1984 called, and they want their process back because it's so slow and laborious.
Yeah.
And it's quite fraught with danger too, isn't it? So at the moment, I know that there's a lot of scamming that goes on around, deposits and trying to capture that information. How does your platform help with that?
The wire fraud and title fraud is evolving.
Yeah.
In the last
They're
2
getting
years,
very clever, those scammers, aren't they? Yeah.
Absolutely. And the hacking process is super easy because for now we're using the oldest protocol ever, email. It's not secure.
Yeah.
So we're seeing over $1 billion solely in the US of wire fraud problem. So with our system, we avoid sending the documents via emails.
Yeah.
So the payment instruction is being sent via our transaction platform, so the buyer logins and see the payment instruction there, or which we recommend, they just put their own bank account in our system, and we initiate the transfer of the funds from the consumer bank account to the escrow company, and we verify who is the recipient. We double check that that's the right bank account.
Yeah.
And also it's the payment facility that we have, it's really not only faster but also cheaper for cross-border payments.
Yeah.
So let's say if you want to buy property and you live in London, you have pounds, you buy property here in New York, you transfer pounds from your bank account, and we do the exchange and transfer within hours.
So that's one of the really cool things about blockchain, isn't it? That it breaks the transaction down into lots and lots of little pieces or packets of data, and then puts it all back together at the other end, so that that's all scrambled, I guess, in the meantime, so that it can't be hacked. Yes. But part of that means too that you don't need to be dealing dollar to dollar or pound to pound. You can actually, as part of that, you can translate the money as part of the transaction rather than having to do it in a traditional way.
Yeah, so let me explain a little bit how we use blockchain in the transaction process. So when the user is receiving their purchase agreement, the offer to sign, we store this purchase agreement sign, then we hash it, and put the hash of the document onto the blockchain. So if something happens in the future and there are any claims in courts, this record on the blockchain serves as an evidence in courts, and it's recognized by many governments as an evidence in courts. And the title deed as well, once you have the ownership transfer, the title deed recorded on the blockchain, and if something happens with the county fireplace, many counties are still using paper, they don't use computers to store records of the ownership. If something happens like natural disasters or hacking attacks, then our users can always bring to the county the evidence recorded on the blockchain, which is immutable. So that's the main feature of our transaction platform, to preserve the time stamping of every step of the transaction.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why blockchain is so secure, I guess, because it does break it down.
It's never been hacked. Bitcoin, there are Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, these are the oldest and most proven ones. Sometimes people even here in the conference yesterday, we had one broker saying, hey, I've heard the blockchain was hacked yesterday. That's not true. There have been some smart contracts hacked, or exchanges where people keep their cryptocurrencies, but blockchain itself, like Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain, never. And that's the reason blockchain to exist, the consensus mechanism.
So what you're proposing is and what you're doing is like this really radical new way of transacting real estate that is going to make it more secure and faster and more transparent for people to buy and sell properties, and then have like a really long paper chain of all of the evidence of the different steps of that transaction. So how long have you guys been around for?
We've been around since 2016.
But that's not very long.
And last year finally we released our product, the transaction platform. We did the first ever transaction on blockchain in real estate in the world, then the first one in the US, the first one in the European Union. So now we're onboarding many brokerages that will use the transaction platform for each of their deals. And this is especially critical for cloud-based or virtual brokerages, because the only way to oversee and audit the paperwork of agents is actually to introduce a transaction platform.
Okay. Cool. And so you did 5 transactions in last year in your sort of first year with the platform launched.
We did 12 last year.
12 last year, I'm sorry.
Yeah, currently we're closing 5 more.
5 more in
and
January,
we have several agreements with agents that are bringing us 500 and 1,000 transactions annually per agency.
So this is very new technology, very exciting technology that obviously has a long way to go and a lot of people to adopt it. What are the things that you're finding that people are saying that they're What do they have any resistance to it, or are they scared of it, or what are you hearing?
The resistance 2 years ago was tremendous. It was so hard to make the first transaction. The first one happened in the end of 2017, which was like kind of trial. The product was still not the one we have today. It was with Michael Arrington, the founder of TechCrunch. He acquired a property in Ukraine, and we had an MOU with the government, with the Ministry of Justice, in order for this to happen. Then the first transaction in the US happened in Vermont, where we had a pilot project also signed with the governmental agencies. So, because many agents were asking, is it legal at all to make a transaction on a blockchain? And once we made those first steps, it got much easier.
Much easier, cool. So now you've now moved to Silicon Valley, and have got investment that shows that there's a lot of belief in what you're doing. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Or
sure. So we've initially raised money from angel investors, and then we made a token sale. So total we raised $15 million.
Wow.
And we're very blessed with our investors that are helping us a lot to achieve adoption, as well as to our advisors. Our first advisor here in the US was Alan Pinnell himself. And we have amazing feedback from CEOs of the leading brokerages here in the US. In the UK as well, like Knight Frank, Savills, Jones Lang LaSalle. What we're hearing from those CEOs is that they don't want to to hire more brokers to grow. They want software to help agents to do more transactions more efficiently, and this is how it will help the company to grow and also to remain with the best agents. On the other hand, agents also, they are so competitive. There is a huge competition within brokers, so they need to be educated on technology. They have to use the newest technology. And right now, when you want to sell a house, agents have to use about 10 different tools. So what we offer is that log in into Propy, close the deal there, and you don't have to log in separately to DocuSign, separately to Zip forms, separately for working with title companies.
The whole workflow.
Yeah, we have all those tools integrated in one platform.
Fantastic. Natalia, thank you so much for your time. It's been fascinating finding out about Propy and how blockchain is going to really revolutionise real estate and how we transact. That sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much.